All right, hello again. Chapter 6, Bones and Bone Structure. So here's your introductory micro lecture for this chapter. Now before we move on, I want to make sure that we understand that these videos, I am making them particularly for Mount Sax Anatomy 10A class. And the book that we use, the textbook that we use in this class is Visual Anatomy and Physiology by Martini, Obernath, Bartholomew, and Petty, 3rd edition. Along with the use of this book, this textbook, the publisher has been very generous and allowed us to use have free access to Mastering Biology. And so I'll try to guide you when to go into Mastering Biology, complete assignments, and also look at the wonderful study tools and techniques that they have listed in their Mastering website. Particularly for this chapter, I want you to go ahead and look at Mastering Study Area, Lab Tools, and under Mastering, you go to Study Area, then you go to Lab Tools, and then to the bone dissection videos. I think they're very helpful, and they're going to help you memorize the material that corresponds to Chapter 6 and 7, which is part of lecture material, and Unit 2 lab practicum material. Very, very helpful. So I do encourage you to utilize Mastering Biology to help you pass this course as remote instruction. All right, so we continue. The skeletal system. We've seen this diagram already. We saw it in Chapter 1. We saw it in Chapter 4. Skeletal system overall function, I asked you to already know that. So you know that it's providing support, it provides protection, provides storage for minerals, calcium and phosphate, and forms blood cells, formed elements in blood cells. The skeletal system is broken into two main parts, the axial skeleton and the appendicular skeleton. So axial along the axis of your body. So that includes the skull, the thoracic cage, and vertebral column connected right here. Now, in our Zoom meeting, I mentioned how we're all home. We all have different home life situations. And at home here, for me, I have small kids. I have a 3-year-old, a 5-year-old, and 7-year-old. And so while I have to work and prepare my lectures online, I also engage my children and come up with activities that match what I'm doing for them at their level. So I had a cast for a little skeleton that we did yesterday, and they'll start learning the bones alongside you. I encourage you to engage your family. Have them join you in your learning process, and that'll make it easier to learn the material, to teach it to your younger kids, teach it to your brother, your sister. I jokingly said to your cat, to your dog, just say it out loud. Find different ways to learn the material, memorize the material, practice the material, so it's engaging, it's fun, and you'll be able to do well on the exams and the practicum. So we go back, axial skeleton, appendicular skeleton. The axial skeleton is made up of 80 bones, and the appendicular skeleton is made up of 126 bones. The appendicular skeleton, the second division for the skeletal system, is made up of the upper limb, bones that make up the upper limb, and bones that make up the lower limb, alongside the bones that attach the upper and lower limbs to the trunk. Very important to start studying now is the 206 bones that make up the human skeleton, but alongside learning the names of 206 bones of the human body, you need to memorize special features of these bones, or they're also called bone markings or structures. So in this image, we have the name of the bone. It's a femur. Okay? Out of 206 bones of the human body, here's one in this image, the femur. But then, in addition to knowing the name of the bone, you have to know features of the femur. So we have a rounded articulating surface called the head. An articulating surface is a surface that articulates or joins with another bone. That's one example of a feature. Then we have some massive projections called trochanters, and trochanters are only located at the femur, so we have two here. Listed here, we have the greater trochanter, and you could still see a peak of the lesser trochanter. These are structures and features that are on your lab list that you have to learn. So when you start your study for osteology, the names of the bones, you're also studying for lab practicum too. Okay, so my suggestion, first learn all 206 names of the bones of the human body. And then go through each bone and learn what additional features you have to learn that correspond to each bone. Okay? You have to know the name of the bone, a bone marking or several, the side which the bone came from, and sometimes its articulation point. What does it articulate with? What does it join with? All right, so that's your intro for chapter 6. There's much, much more that you'll be learning in this chapter. I encourage you to begin with learning 206 names of the bones of the human body and have fun. Enjoy it. Thank you.